47 seconds. That's all it took to change Marcus Johnson's entire life. One rainy Tuesday afternoon in New York City, a 23-year-old street singer with holes in his shoes was performing to absolutely nobody. The streets were empty, rain was pouring down, and he was about to pack up and go home. But then a stranger walking by did something that would turn Marcus from a broke busker into a $2 million recording artist overnight. This story happened just 6 months ago, and every single detail will blow your mind. Because sometimes the universe puts you exactly where you need to be, even when it feels like you're drowning. Marcus Johnson had been living in New York for 3 years, and honestly, he was ready to give up every morning. He'd wake up in his tiny studio apartment in Queens, grab his father's old 1987 Yamaha guitar, and head into Manhattan hoping to make enough money for dinner. Most days, he barely scraped together $40. But Marcus wasn't just some college kid playing music for fun. This was survival. He'd grown up in Detroit with his grandmother Rosa after losing his parents in a car accident when he was 8 years old. Rosa worked 3 jobs cleaning offices, stocking shelves, and doing laundry just to keep him afloat. The only thing Marcus inherited from his parents was that beat-up acoustic guitar. Rosa would find him playing it at all hours of the night, teaching himself songs from YouTube videos on their ancient laptop that took 5 minutes just to load a page. When Rosa passed away during his senior year of high school, Marcus faced an impossible choice: stay in Detroit with absolutely nothing, or take his $847 in savings and chase the dream his grandmother had always encouraged him to pursue. So he bought a one-way Greyhound ticket to New York City. 3 years later, he was questioning everything. He'd perform in Washington Square Park, outside subway stations, anywhere the police wouldn't kick him out. Good days, he'd make $60. Bad days, he'd go home with empty pockets and wonder if Rosa would be disappointed in him for not getting a real job. March 15 started like any other day. Marcus checked the weather on his cracked phone screen. Heavy rain all day. Every smart busker knows you don't perform in the rain. Your guitar gets damaged, people don't stop, and you're basically guaranteed to go home broke. But Marcus was already 3 days behind on rent. His landlord, Mr. Chun, had been patient, but patience doesn't pay bills. Marcus looked at his empty refrigerator, counted the $23 in his wallet, and made a decision that would change his life forever. He grabbed his guitar, threw on his only jacket, and headed to his usual spot outside the Strand bookstore on Broadway. By the time he got there, it was pouring, the kind of New York rain that sends everyone underground or into the nearest Starbucks. For 2 hours, Marcus played to absolutely nobody. Rain was dripping from his hair, his sneakers were soaked through, and his guitar case had exactly $3.50 in it. 3 different people had walked by without even glancing his way. At 3:17 p.m., Marcus was ready to quit, not just for the day, but maybe forever. He was packing up his guitar when he decided to play one last song, something his grandmother used to hum while she cooked. He didn't even know the real name of it, just called it Rosa's Song. As he started playing, something magical happened. The rain began to lighten up just enough, and his voice seemed to carry further than usual. He closed his eyes and sang like it was the last time he'd ever get to perform. That's when Sarah Mitchell walked by. Sarah was a 34-year-old marketing executive for a tech startup running late for a client meeting. She had her AirPods in, scrolling through emails on her phone, when something made her stop. She pulled out her earbuds and heard this incredibly pure voice cutting through the sound of rain and traffic. She looked up and saw this young guy, completely soaked, pouring his heart out to an empty street. There was something so raw and authentic about it that she couldn't look away. Without thinking, she pulled out her phone and started recording. Marcus had no idea he was being filmed. He was lost in the music, singing about missing his grandmother, about dreams that felt impossible, about not giving up even when everything seems hopeless. The rain had almost stopped, and for those 47 seconds, it felt like the whole city was listening. When Marcus finished the song, he opened his eyes and saw Sarah standing there with tears streaming down her face. She walked over, dropped a 20 in a guitar case, and said something that still gives him chills. "Don't you dare give up. The world needs to hear that voice." Sarah went home that night and couldn't stop thinking about what she'd witnessed. She'd recorded the whole performance on her phone, and watching it back gave her goosebumps every single time. She'd never posted anything on social media except vacation photos and cat videos, but something told her this was different. She spent an hour writing the perfect caption. Sometimes the most beautiful music happens when nobody's watching. Found this incredible street performer singing in the rain in NYC today. His voice stopped me dead in my tracks. She tagged it with a few hashtags, posted it on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, and went to bed thinking maybe her 200 followers would see it. Sarah woke up to her phone, buzzing nonstop. The TikTok video had 50,000 views. By lunch, it was at 500,000. By dinner, over 2 million people had watched Marcus singing in the rain. But Marcus had no idea any of this was happening. He was back on the same corner the next day, playing to the usual crowd of nobody, when people started recognizing him. "Oh my God, you're the rain guy!" A teenager shouted, running up with her phone. "You're like famous." Marcus had no clue what she was talking about until she showed him Sarah's video. His jaw dropped. 2.3 million views. 15,000 comments. People from around the world saying his voice gave them chills, that they couldn't stop replaying it, that he needed to be on Spotify immediately. The comments were incredible. This is what real music sounds like. Better than half the stuff on the radio. Someone signed this guy right now. I've listened to this 47 times today. But the comment that changed everything came from Jake Morrison, an A&R scout for Atlantic Records. "This is special. We need to talk. DM me?" Marcus's hands were shaking as he typed back. Jake Morrison had discovered some of the biggest artists of the past decade. Why would he be interested in a broke street performer from Queens? They met the next morning at a coffee shop in Midtown. Jake was this cool, laid-back guy in his 40s who'd been in the music industry for 20 years. He told Marcus he'd been looking for someone with a truly authentic voice, and that video was exactly what the industry needed. "Here's the thing, Marcus," Jake said, sliding a business card across the table. "In a world full of auto-tune and manufactured pop stars, people are hungry for something real. That performance in the rain, that's lightning in a bottle. You can't fake that kind of emotion." Within a week, Marcus was sitting in the offices of Atlantic Records, signing a recording contract worth $2 million. $2 million. The kid who couldn't afford lunch a week earlier was now a signed recording artist with his own team of producers, songwriters, and managers. But here's where the story gets even more incredible. Marcus's first single, which he called Rose's Song after his grandmother, debuted at number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100. The music video, which featured clips from Sarah's original Rainy Day recording, has over 50 million views on YouTube. Rolling Stone called him the most authentic new voice in music. Time magazine put him on their 30 under 30 list. But Marcus says the best part wasn't the fame or the money. It was a letter he got from Sarah Mitchell 3 months later. She'd been promoted at work after her video went viral and proved her marketing instincts were incredible. She wrote, "Thank you for reminding me that sometimes the best things happen when you're brave enough to hit record on a stranger's dream." Marcus now lives in a penthouse in Manhattan, but he still goes back to that same corner outside the Strand bookstore every month, not to perform, but to remember where he came from. He set up a scholarship fund called Rose's Dream to help kids from low-income families pursue music education. Last month, he performed at Madison Square Garden. 20,000 people singing along to Rose's Song, the same melody his grandmother used to hum in their tiny kitchen in Detroit. As he looked out at the crowd, Marcus thought about how 47 seconds of video changed everything. But the real magic wasn't the viral video or the record deal. It was Sarah Mitchell being brave enough to stop, listen, and share something beautiful with the world. It was Marcus choosing to play one last song, even when he wanted to give up. It was the universe putting two strangers in the exact right place at the exact right time. Sometimes your breakthrough is just one decision away. One more song, one more post, one more day of not giving up when everything seems impossible. Marcus Johnson went from busking in the rain to selling out concert halls in 6 months. All because someone believed his story was worth sharing, and he was brave enough to keep playing even when no one was watching. The next time you see a street performer, really listen. You might be witnessing the next big thing before the rest of the world discovers them. And who knows? Maybe you'll be the stranger who changes someone's life with 47 seconds of belief in their dream.